Moana 2, 2024, is the highly anticipated sequel to the 2016 animated Disney hit, Moana. It is an American animated musical fantasy adventure film that builds upon the original's success, continuing the journey of Moana as she explores new adventures and encounters fresh challenges. The film promises to retain its rich Polynesian cultural essence, blending it with the iconic elements of adventure, music, and personal discovery that made the first film beloved by audiences worldwide. Storyline and themes. The story of Moana 2 is set to follow Moana as she embarks on new explorations beyond the horizon. While specific plot details are kept under wraps, fans can expect a continuation of her leadership as the chosen wayfinder of her people. The film is expected to tackle deeper themes of environmental preservation, personal growth, and the exploration of one's identity. The first movie's mythical elements will likely carry over, with Moana encountering new gods, creatures, and challenges in the Polynesian mythological realm. Auliʻi Cravalho and cast performances. Auliʻi Cravalho, who voiced Moana in the first film, is expected to reprise her role, bringing back her powerful performance and authentic portrayal of the strong, adventurous heroine. Other major characters from the original may also return, including Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Maui, the demigod who played a central role in Moana's first journey. The chemistry between Cravalho's Moana and Johnson's Maui contributed to the charm of the original film, and fans are excited to see how their relationship evolves. New characters will likely be introduced, each with distinct personalities and challenges that shape Moana's journey. Technical aspects. Disney is known for pushing the boundaries of animation, and Moana 2 will be no exception. The film's animation is expected to feature advancements in CGI, water rendering, and character design, continuing the tradition of breathtaking visuals seen in the first film. The landscapes will likely be inspired by Polynesian islands and mythological elements, blending fantasy and realism in seamless detail. The technical team is committed to capturing the vibrancy of the ocean, the lush greenery of the islands, and the ethereal qualities of Polynesian mythology. Music department. Music was a core part of Moana's success, and Moana 2 will once again feature an enchanting soundtrack. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who contributed to the first movie's songs, is likely to return, crafting both catchy and emotionally charged music for the sequel. The musical score will continue to reflect Polynesian cultural influences, with an emphasis on traditional instruments and vocal arrangements. Audiences can expect new songs that will likely be just as iconic as "How Far I'll Go," offering emotional depth and memorable tunes to complement the story. Pre-production, filming, and post-production. The pre-production phase of Moana 2 involved extensive planning to ensure that the story continued to honor Polynesian culture while providing fresh narratives. Disney is known for its meticulous approach to research, and the creative team likely collaborated with cultural advisors to ensure authenticity. The film went through various stages of script development, and character design was refined to enhance the visual appeal. Once pre-production was completed, Moana 2 entered its animation phase, where animators worked on creating the stunning visuals that Disney films are known for. Filming, in terms of voice recording and motion capture, if any, began with Auliʻi Cravalho and other cast members providing the voices for their characters. The post-production process, focusing on editing, sound design, and visual effects, ensures that every scene and musical number flows smoothly, providing a seamless experience for the audience. Budget. While Disney has not officially disclosed the budget for Moana 2, it is speculated to be a significant investment, likely surpassing the original film's $150 million budget due to advanced animation techniques and a more extensive production. The film is expected to be a major release for Disney, and they've spared no expense in bringing it to life. This includes high-quality animation, a powerful soundtrack, and an experienced voice cast. Box office collection predictions. Given the enormous success of the first film, Moana 2 is poised to be a box office juggernaut. The original film grossed over $690 million worldwide, and with the established fan base, the sequel is expected to surpass these numbers. Early projections suggest that the movie could easily cross the $800 million mark, depending on global reception, marketing, and distribution strategies. The film's success may also be boosted by merchandise sales, further contributing to Disney's revenue, platform availability, and OTT release. Moana 2 is expected to have a major theatrical release worldwide before it becomes available on digital platforms. Given Disney's partnership with its own streaming service, Disney+, the film will likely land on the platform for streaming shortly after its theatrical run. Fans can anticipate watching the movie in high definition or even 4K on Disney+ after its initial release window. Additionally, it may be available for digital purchase on platforms like Amazon Prime Video and Google Play Movies before its streaming debut. In terms of satellite channels, Disney's family of networks, such as ABC or Disney Channel, could eventually air the movie after its initial home media and streaming release. Review and small story insight. The sequel to Moana has been the subject of high anticipation, with fans hoping for a movie that matches the emotional resonance and excitement of the original. Early reviews, based on insider feedback, suggest that the story is engaging, with a strong focus on character development. Moana's journey of self-discovery will take center stage, with her facing new trials that test her leadership and connection to her roots. The film promises a balance of heartwarming moments, humor, and adventurous sequences that appeal to both children and adults. Conclusion: Moana 2 is shaping up to be a thrilling continuation of a beloved Disney classic. With its powerful story, stunning animation, memorable characters, and rich cultural influence, it has all the ingredients to be a massive hit. Fans of the first film will be eager to embark on another journey across the seas with Moana, as she continues to inspire audiences with her courage, determination, and sense of adventure. Technical aspects of Moana 2, 2024. The technical aspects of Moana 2 are essential in delivering the movie's immersive experience, leveraging cutting-edge animation, visual effects, sound design, and other key elements. Here's a detailed look at how each component contributes to the film. Advanced animation techniques. Disney has consistently been at the forefront of animation technology, and Moana 2 will showcase even more advanced animation than its predecessor. The sequel is expected to feature further improvements in water simulation and character animation. The first Moana was praised for its incredibly realistic ocean, which became almost a character in itself. For Moana 2, animators will likely refine these techniques to achieve even more breathtaking and dynamic water effects. The natural environment, from the ocean to lush tropical islands, will be crafted with intricate details, including highly realistic vegetation, volcanic landscapes, and weather effects. Enhanced character design. The characters in Moana 2 will be designed with even more attention to detail. The animation team will likely work to push facial expressions, body language, and movement fidelity to new levels. The improvements in rigging and texturing technologies will allow for more nuanced character interactions and emotions, bringing even more life to Moana, Maui, and the new characters introduced in the sequel. Additionally, cultural authenticity is vital, so Polynesian clothing, tattoos, and ceremonial symbols will be depicted with precision. Water rendering. The first Moana was lauded for its advanced water rendering technology, which allowed animators to create highly dynamic and believable ocean scenes. In Moana 2, water will again play a critical role as both a visual and narrative element. The technical team will likely use new innovations in physics-based water simulations to render complex water interactions. From crashing waves to calm lagoons and stormy seas, the water will respond to characters' movements and environmental conditions with heightened realism. The reflective surfaces and interaction with light, especially during different times of day, will make the ocean feel like a living entity. Lighting and color grading. The sequel will continue to use sophisticated lighting techniques that enhance the vibrant, tropical setting of the film. Disney's animation team will use global illumination technology to create natural light transitions, ensuring that every scene has a rich and dynamic look. Expect stunning sunrises, sunsets, and nighttime scenes that cast dramatic shadows across the landscape. Color grading will also be critical, with rich, tropical hues dominating the island settings and deep, mysterious blues for ocean scenes. These elements will help maintain a balance between the grounded and fantastical aspects of the film's visual language, visual effects, and mythological elements. The visual effects team will play an essential role in bringing Moana 2's mythological elements to life. Magical creatures, gods, and other fantastical elements will require complex effects work. Expect larger-than-life visual sequences where nature itself, from the winds to volcanoes, is animated to serve the narrative. The seamless blending of these mythological aspects with the real world will create a fantastical environment that feels both immersive and magical. Whether Moana is interacting with ancient deities or facing off against natural disasters, visual effects will heighten the emotional impact and grandeur of the story. Improved character animation via motion capture. While traditional keyframe animation will be the backbone of character movement, advancements in motion capture technology may also be used to give certain characters more fluid and realistic motion, particularly in action sequences. Motion capture can be utilized to capture complex fight choreography or dance sequences, allowing for a seamless blend of dynamic action with smooth, lifelike character movements. This will be particularly useful in scenes involving Maui or other physically active characters. Sound design and audio effects. Sound design in Moana 2 will be equally important in immersing viewers in its world. The sound of ocean waves, island wildlife, and mythical creatures will all be intricately woven into the film's audio landscape. 3D spatial sound techniques could be employed to give the audience a sense of depth, whether it's the roar of the ocean in an intense storm or the delicate rustle of palm leaves in a quiet moment. The sound design team will also likely collaborate closely with the music department to ensure that the film's score blends naturally with ambient sound effects, creating a cohesive auditory experience. Music integration with animation. Music will once again play a central role in Moana 2, not just in terms of the soundtrack but also how it integrates with the animation. Musical numbers will likely be accompanied by stunning visual sequences, using techniques like synchronized animation, lighting shifts, and visual metaphors to bring the songs to life. For example, if a character is singing about the ocean, the water may behave in sync with the music, creating a dynamic relationship between sound and visuals. Cultural representation and research in visuals. Authenticity is a significant part of Moana 2's technical achievement. Just as in the first film, extensive research into Polynesian culture, myths, and traditions has been carried out to ensure the film accurately reflects the heritage it is inspired by. From the design of Moana's clothes to the carvings on the boats and the tattoos on Maui's body, every detail will be a result of collaboration with cultural experts and historians. This level of technical attention to detail in representing Polynesian art, architecture, and mythology is an essential aspect of the film's visual development. Virtual production and rendering technologies. Given Disney's ever-growing investment in virtual production technologies, Moana may utilize some of the same tools used for live-action films, such as virtual sets and advanced rendering pipelines. While the film will be animated, pre-visualization and layout phases could use virtual reality tools to help directors visualize how the animated sequences will look in a virtual space. This could allow for better planning of camera angles, action sequences, and lighting, contributing to a more cinematic feel. Editing and post-production. Post-production for Moana 2 will involve extensive work in both visual and audio editing. The editing team will need to ensure the pacing flows seamlessly between action-packed sequences and emotional beats. Transitions between scenes will also play a vital role, and advanced editing techniques like cross-dissolves, split screens, or even montage sequences may be used to show different parts of Moana's journey. Visual effects rendering will likely require considerable time and computational power, given the complexity of the water, environmental, and character animations. Conclusion. The technical aspects of Moana 2 represent a marriage of cutting-edge animation technology and traditional storytelling. By using state-of-the-art rendering, motion capture, visual effects, and sound design, Disney ensures that the film not only lives up to its predecessor but potentially surpasses it in both scope and execution. Every frame is expected to be a visual spectacle, pushing the boundaries of what animated films can achieve in terms of realism, cultural representation, and fantastical adventure. Pre-production, filming, and post-production of Moana 2, 2024. Pre-production. The pre-production phase of Moana 2 was vital in laying the foundation for the film's development, ensuring that it remained true to its predecessor while also delivering fresh and exciting content for audiences. Script development. Pre-production began with the story and script development, where writers worked closely with Disney's creative team to craft a narrative that honored the original themes of adventure, cultural identity, and personal growth while expanding Moana's universe. The story development team likely incorporated feedback from Polynesian cultural experts to maintain the authenticity of the cultural elements and mythology, as they did with the first film. The film's writers, along with the directors, worked to create a compelling arc for Moana, introducing new challenges, supporting characters, and storylines. Concept art and character design. During this phase, the art department created extensive concept art, including character designs, environmental sketches, and key visual elements that would define the look and feel of the film. Characters such as Moana and Maui were redesigned with subtle updates, reflecting the passage of time since the original film. New characters and mythical creatures were also introduced during this phase, requiring innovative design work to ensure they blended well with the established world of Moana. Cultural consultation. As with the first film, cultural consultation played a critical role in pre-production. Disney engaged with Polynesian cultural advisors and historians to ensure that the film remained authentic to its inspiration, avoiding cultural misrepresentation. This consultation extended to the design of costumes, settings, and rituals, which had to align with Polynesian traditions and heritage. The filmmakers also incorporated Polynesian language elements, as they did in the original, ensuring that the sequel continued to celebrate and respect the culture it was inspired by. Voice casting and recording. Another key component of pre-production was the return of the voice cast. Auliʻi Cravalho, who voiced Moana, was confirmed early on, as her portrayal of the character was both critically acclaimed and beloved by audiences. The production team likely worked on securing other major actors, such as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who voiced Maui, along with new talent to voice fresh characters. The casting team would have held auditions for additional roles, looking for actors who could bring new dimensions to the sequel's expanding universe. Some voice recording may have even begun during the later stages of pre-production to match initial animation tests. Filming, voice recording, and animation. As Moana 2 is an animated film, the filming process revolves around voice recording and the actual creation of the animation. Voice recording. Filming for an animated movie involves recording the voice actors' performances before animating their characters. The voice actors recorded their lines in sound booths, and in some cases, actors performed together to capture the dynamics of character interactions. For Auliʻi Cravalho, Moana, and Dwayne Johnson, Maui, capturing their vocal performances required not just line delivery, but also capturing the emotions, inflections, and tones that matched the animated expressions of their characters. The voice recordings went through multiple takes to ensure each line perfectly matched the tone and pacing of the scene. Animatics and storyboarding. Before animating the entire film, the team developed animatics and storyboards to visualize key sequences. Animatics are essentially rough versions of the movie created with simplified animations and voiceovers. They give the directors a clear sense of how scenes will play out, including timing, camera angles, and emotional beats. Storyboards were used as a reference throughout production, helping guide the animation team on how each shot would unfold. Character animation and keyframe animation. Once the voice recordings were completed, animators began the lengthy process of creating the final animations. Using keyframe animation, The animators built each character's movements, facial expressions, and interactions, ensuring that every scene aligned with the voice performances. Advanced rigging and character models allowed animators to fine-tune Moana's expressions, body language, and movements to ensure that her emotional journey felt authentic and believable. Motion capture and action sequences. While the film is largely animated using traditional methods, motion capture technology may have been used to capture specific movements or action sequences. For instance, Maui's physicality, given his superhuman strength and fluid motion, may have benefited from motion capture data to create a sense of weight and momentum in his movements. This would help make action scenes, such as fight choreography or dramatic rescues, feel more lifelike and dynamic. Post-production. Post-production is one of the most intricate and time-consuming phases of an animated film like Moana 2, where all the different elements come together to finalize the movie. Visual effects and final rendering. After the primary animation work was completed, the film moved into the rendering phase. During this stage, the raw animation was turned into final, high-definition footage. This involved rendering complex water effects, dynamic lighting, and intricate textures on characters and environments. Given the role of the ocean in the Moana franchise, the post-production team focused heavily on ensuring the water behaved naturally, reflecting changes in weather, light, and interaction with characters. Visual effects enhancements. The mythical aspects of Moana 2 required significant visual effects work. From magical creatures to the manipulation of natural elements, such as waves or wind, the visual effects team added layers of complexity to the scenes that required supernatural or fantastical elements. These effects were carefully integrated to ensure they matched the tone and style of the film, enhancing the sense of wonder and magic that pervades Moana's world. Editing and scene composition. The editing process was essential for maintaining pacing, tone, and structure. Editors worked to refine the flow of the story, ensuring that the transition between emotional scenes, musical sequences, and action set pieces felt seamless. Editing also involved fine-tuning the timing of character movements and ensuring the dialogue matched perfectly with the animation. Editors also made sure that the film's story beats aligned with the emotional journey of Moana, pacing the narrative so that key moments landed effectively with the audience. Sound design and soundtrack integration. In post-production, sound designers added layers of sound effects to bring the world of Moana 2 to life. This involved everything from subtle environmental sounds, like waves crashing on the shore, to the intricate details of mythical creatures moving. The sound design team also worked on creating immersive audio experiences, such as the sound of an ocean storm or a bustling island village, enriching the film's auditory world. The soundtrack, likely composed by Lin-Manuel Miranda or another prominent composer, was integrated into the film during this phase. Songs were carefully matched with visual sequences, ensuring that music not only complemented the animation but also elevated the emotional resonance of each scene. Color grading and final touches. In the final stages of post-production, color grading was applied to each frame of the film. This process involved adjusting the color balance to ensure consistency in lighting, mood, and tone across all scenes. Bright, tropical colors dominated the island settings, while deeper, more intense shades were used for dramatic or mythical moments. The final touches were applied, including polishing any visual inconsistencies, syncing the final sound effects, and ensuring the movie was ready for distribution in both theatrical and digital formats. Conclusion. The pre-production, filming, voice recording, and animation, and post-production processes of Moana 2 reflect the enormous technical and creative effort that goes into making an animated blockbuster. From the initial concept art to the final rendering of its stunning visuals, every stage was carefully designed to build upon the success of the original while pushing the boundaries of animation and storytelling. Disney's attention to detail, cultural authenticity, and technical innovation will make Moana 2 a visually captivating and emotionally resonant continuation of Moana's journey. Music Department of Moana 2, 2024. The music department plays a pivotal role in Moana 2, enriching the storytelling, enhancing emotional depth and bringing the film's Polynesian setting to life through a unique blend of traditional and contemporary music styles. Given the enormous success of the original Moana soundtrack, the music for Moana 2 will likely follow in its footsteps, with a mix of powerful songs and instrumental scores that reflect the film's themes of adventure, self-discovery, and connection to nature. Here's an in-depth look at the key aspects of the music department. Returning and new composers. The first Moana was a musical triumph thanks to the work of Lin-Manuel Miranda, Auliʻi Cravalho, and Mark Mancina. These three were integral in shaping the soundscape of the first film by combining Broadway-style music with traditional Polynesian influences. It is expected that Lin-Manuel Miranda will return for Moana 2, bringing his signature lyrical prowess and ability to create catchy, emotionally resonant songs. Lin-Manuel Miranda, known for his work on Hamilton and In the Heights, Miranda's musical contributions to the first Moana, including songs like How Far I'll Go and We Know the Way, were crucial in defining the film's musical identity. For Moana 2, Miranda will likely continue blending traditional Polynesian rhythms with modern storytelling through song, crafting melodies that reflect Moana's emotional journey and the film's themes. His knack for combining compelling lyrics with rich, culturally relevant music will help maintain the authenticity and magic of the original. Auliʻi Cravalho, a renowned Samoan musician and founder of the band Te Vaka, contributed to the original soundtrack with his deep knowledge of Polynesian music. His work brought a sense of cultural authenticity to the score, especially through the use of traditional instruments and language. Cravalho's involvement in Moana 2 would ensure that the soundtrack remains rooted in Polynesian heritage, utilizing traditional sounds, chants, and rhythms to ground the film in its setting. Mark Mancina, a seasoned film composer, provided the sweeping orchestral score for Moana, blending traditional Polynesian sounds with modern cinematic scoring techniques. His return to Moana 2 would bring continuity to the film's musical identity, with rich, orchestral compositions that complement the songs and enhance the dramatic moments. Mancina's score will likely feature a dynamic interplay between Polynesian percussion, strings, and brass, building tension and emotion in action scenes while offering serene, lush soundscapes for the island settings. New songs and musical themes. Given the centrality of music in the Moana franchise, Moana 2 will likely introduce a fresh array of songs that serve both the narrative and character development. Just as the original film featured powerful anthems like How Far I'll Go and You're Welcome, the sequel will build on that tradition with new songs that further explore Moana's journey. Character-specific songs. In Moana 2, expect character-driven musical numbers that reflect their emotional state and evolution throughout the film. Moana, who has grown since her first adventure, will likely have songs that reflect her maturity, her leadership role, and her continued connection to her people and the ocean. These songs will dive deeper into her internal conflicts and aspirations. Similarly, if Maui returns, his songs could explore themes of redemption or further delve into his complex relationship with humanity and the gods. Cultural and mythological songs. Much like We Know the Way celebrated Polynesian navigation and culture, Moana 2 will likely feature songs that highlight aspects of Polynesian mythology and traditions. These musical pieces may be sung in native languages or involve chants and traditional percussion instruments like the pahu, drums, and conch shells. These cultural songs will not only add depth to the narrative, but also showcase the richness of Polynesian heritage. Ensemble songs, just as the original film had group numbers, like We Know the Way and Where You Are, the sequel will likely have ensemble songs featuring the voices of Moana's people or the broader Polynesian community. These songs will bring a sense of unity and collective spirit to the film, capturing the communal aspects of island life and storytelling. Traditional Polynesian instruments and sound. A core element of Moana's success was its use of traditional Polynesian instruments and sounds, which gave the film a distinct musical identity. Moana 2 will continue this tradition, employing instruments such as pahu and tu'er drums, Polynesian drums are central to the region's musical heritage and will continue to play a significant role in the soundtrack. The deep, resonant beats of the pahu drum and the sharper rhythms of the tuer drum will drive the film's percussive energy, particularly during scenes of action or when invoking mythological elements. Ukulele and guitars. The ukulele, a popular string instrument in Polynesia, will likely feature in lighter, more serene musical moments. Its soft, melodic tone complements the idyllic island setting and Moana's personal moments of reflection. Similarly, guitars could be used to create both soothing and upbeat rhythms, especially in more celebratory scenes. Chants and vocal harmonies. Polynesian music often involves vocal harmonies and chants, which will be featured prominently in Moana 2. These elements not only enhance the cultural authenticity of the music, but also evoke the spiritual and communal aspects of Polynesian life. Chants may be used in ceremonial sequences or when invoking the gods and ancestors, lending gravitas to important narrative moments. Soundtrack release and popularity. The soundtrack for Moana became a global phenomenon, with songs like How Far I'll Go reaching mainstream success and becoming a cultural touchstone. Moana 2's soundtrack is expected to follow a similar trajectory, with the songs likely being released ahead of the film to generate anticipation. The music department will aim to create earworms that resonate with audiences of all ages, blending Polynesian sounds with universal themes of adventure, self-discovery, and leadership. Multilingual versions. As with the first film, Moana 2 will likely release multilingual versions of the soundtrack to cater to its global audience. Songs like How Far I'll Go were translated into multiple languages for international markets, and the same will be true for Moana 2, ensuring that audiences from different linguistic backgrounds can enjoy the music in their native tongues. Integration with animation. Music and animation will be tightly intertwined in Moana 2, with musical numbers serving as key narrative and emotional moments. The directors, animators, and music department will collaborate closely to ensure that the visual sequences accompanying the songs are dynamic and emotionally resonant. This synergy was evident in sequences like I Am Moana in the original film, where the rising music matched the visuals of Moana embracing her destiny. In the sequel, similar attention will be paid to syncing the rhythm, tone, and lyrics of the music with the on-screen action and character performances. Score for action and mythical elements. In addition to the songs, Moana 2's score will enhance the film's action sequences and mythical themes. Expect the score to feature dramatic orchestral pieces during intense or emotional scenes, blending Polynesian instruments with traditional cinematic scoring. For example, during scenes involving gods, mythical creatures, or nature's powerful forces, the music will likely swell with a mix of thunderous drums, powerful brass, and sweeping strings. These compositions will build tension, excitement, and awe as Moana faces new challenges in her journey. Conclusion. The music department of Moana 2 is set to deliver another iconic soundtrack that blends traditional Polynesian music with modern, catchy compositions. With the return of key figures like Lin-Manuel Miranda, Opataya Fawai, and Mark Mancina, the film's songs and score will continue to celebrate the rich cultural heritage of Polynesia while crafting a universally appealing musical experience. From character-driven songs to cultural chants and action-packed scores, the music of Moana 2 will be an essential part of its emotional and storytelling success, making it a musical event as much as a cinematic one. Cast and character performances of Moana 2, 2024. Moana 2 brings back beloved characters from the original film along with new ones, continuing the adventures of Moana and her companions. The performances of the voice cast will be essential in giving life to the characters, bringing depth and personality to their animated counterparts. The cast is expected to deliver emotionally resonant and memorable performances that elevate the storytelling, much like the first Moana. Here's a detailed breakdown of the returning cast, potential new additions, and their expected performances. Auliʻi Cravalho as Moana. Auliʻi Cravalho is returning as the voice of Moana. The titular character, who remains at the heart of the story. Her performance in the original Moana was widely praised for its authenticity, emotional depth, and youthful energy. Cravalho's voice acting captured the complexity of Moana's character. A young woman driven by a sense of duty to her people, yet curious and adventurous, eager to explore the world beyond her island. Character growth. In Moana 2, Moana is expected to have grown from the teenage girl who ventured out to save her island into a young leader with more experience and wisdom. Cravalho will likely bring a more mature, nuanced performance to reflect this evolution, while still retaining the adventurous spirit that made Moana so compelling in the first film. Her voice performance will reflect Moana's inner conflicts, as she balances the responsibilities of leadership with her desire for adventure and self-discovery. Emotional range. Cravalho is also expected to bring an emotional depth to Moana's new challenges. Whether it's dealing with new mythical dangers, personal struggles, or moments of joy and triumph, Cravalho's voice acting will anchor Moana's journey. As the film will undoubtedly have its share of emotionally intense moments, her performance will need to strike a balance between vulnerability and strength, capturing Moana's growth as a character. Musical performances. In addition to her voice acting, Cravalho will once again showcase her singing talent in Moana 2. Her vocal performance in songs like How Far I'll Go from the original film played a key role in expressing Moana's hopes, fears, and dreams. In the sequel, Cravalho's singing will likely reflect Moana's continued personal journey, with new songs highlighting her leadership, resilience, and connection to her people and the ocean. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Maui. Dwayne Johnson will likely reprise his role as Maui, the demigod and trickster who helped Moana in the first film. Johnson's performance as Maui was a major highlight of Moana, bringing humor, charm, and charisma to the character. His natural comedic timing and larger-than-life personality translated perfectly into the animated version of Maui, making him one of the most memorable characters in the film. Character evolution. Maui's character arc in the original Moana saw him transform from a selfish, arrogant demigod into a more humble, self-aware hero. In Moana 2, Maui's character may further evolve, with new challenges testing his sense of responsibility and loyalty to Moana and her people. Johnson will likely bring a performance that reflects Maui's growth, while retaining the humor and swagger that made him so beloved by audiences. Comedic relief and emotional depth. While Maui is often used for comedic relief, Johnson's performance will also be expected to capture the more serious aspects of Maui's character. Moments of vulnerability, regret, and introspection, especially in the face of new, potentially larger-than-life challenges, will add layers to his performance. Maui's relationship with Moana will continue to develop, and Johnson will bring the emotional depth required to portray Maui as both a mentor and a friend. Musical performance. Johnson's musical performance of You're Welcome in Moana became an instant hit, showcasing his vocal range and charisma. In Moana 2, he is likely to perform new songs that mix humor with storytelling, further developing Maui's personality and expanding his character arc. New characters and potential additions. Moana 2 will almost certainly introduce new characters, both from Moana's community and from the mythological world she inhabits. These new characters will require strong voice actors to bring them to life and match the charisma of the original cast. New allies. It's possible that new Polynesian gods, demigods, or mythical creatures will join Moana on her journey. These characters could be voiced by notable actors who bring distinct vocal styles and personalities to the film, adding variety to the cast. The performances of these new characters will need to align with the existing tone of the franchise, blending humor, wisdom, and adventure in their interactions with Moana and Maui. Antagonists. Every great adventure story needs a formidable antagonist, and Moana 2 will likely introduce a new villain who poses a significant threat to Moana's world. Whether this antagonist is a mythical creature, a vengeful god, or a human rival, the actor voicing the character will need to bring intensity and gravitas to the role. A powerful vocal performance will be key in making the antagonist both intimidating and compelling, providing a strong counterpoint to Moana and Maui's heroic journey. Supporting cast and character dynamics. Moana's family and tribe. The supporting characters from Moana's island, her parents, grandmother in spirit, and fellow villagers are likely to return, offering guidance and wisdom as Moana faces new challenges. The voice actors behind these roles, such as Temuera Morrison, Moana's father, will continue to provide a grounding influence in Moana's life. Their performances will focus on familial bonds, leadership dynamics, and the broader responsibility Moana holds to her people. Pua and Hei, Moana's beloved animal companions. Pua the pig and Hei the rooster will undoubtedly make their return as well. Though they don't speak, the animators and sound designers will use vocal effects and expressive sounds to continue their role as comic relief and Moana's trusted sidekicks. Character chemistry and voice acting synergy. A key aspect of the original Moana was the chemistry between the voice actors, particularly between Auliʻi Cravalho, Moana, and Dwayne Johnson, Maui. Their dynamic interactions created a balance between comedy, tension, and camaraderie, making their characters' bond one of the highlights of the film. In Moana 2, this synergy will be vital once again. Moana and Maui's relationship. The chemistry between Cravalho and Johnson will drive the emotional core of Moana 2. As Moana continues to evolve as a leader, Maui may serve as both a mentor and an equal, challenging her while supporting her growth. Their banter and shared respect will continue to be a focal point, and both actors will need to reflect the maturation of their characters' relationship through their performances. Interaction with new characters. The introduction of new characters will also require the established cast to adjust their performances to fit the new dynamics. Whether these new characters are allies or enemies, the voice cast will need to create compelling interactions that keep the story engaging and emotionally resonant. Conclusion. The cast of Moana 2 will play a crucial role in bringing the film's characters to life through compelling voice performances. Auliʻi Cravalho and Dwayne Johnson's return ensures continuity in Moana and Maui's development, while the potential for new characters, whether allies or antagonists, will introduce fresh energy and dynamics to the story. The performances will range from comedic to deeply emotional, reflecting the personal growth and adventures of the characters as they navigate new challenges in the world of Polynesian mythology. Through their voice work, the cast will ensure that Moana 2 delivers the same level of heart, humor, and magic that made the original a beloved classic. Budget and box office collection predictions for Moana 2, 2024. Given the success of the original Moana, 2016, Moana 2 is poised to be a major production, with a significant budget and high box office expectations. The film will likely have a robust financial backing due to its association with Disney, which is known for investing heavily in its animated films. Below is a detailed breakdown of the estimated budget and predictions for the box office performance of Moana 2. Estimated budget. The budget for Moana 2 will be heavily influenced by a variety of factors, including animation complexity, voice talent costs, music production, and marketing efforts. Here's a detailed look at the potential budget components. Animation costs. Moana 2 will continue the high-quality animation style that defined the first film, which featured stunning water effects, lush island environments, and intricate character designs. Given the advancements in animation technology since 2016, the sequel is expected to push the boundaries even further. As water animation is notoriously expensive and time-consuming, a large portion of the budget will likely go towards creating realistic and visually captivating ocean scenes, islands, and new mythical creatures. The original Moana cost approximately $150 million to produce, and it is likely that Moana 2 will have an even larger animation budget, potentially ranging from $150 million to $200 million. Voice talent costs. Both Auliʻi Cravalho and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson are expected to return to voice their iconic roles as Moana and Maui. Dwayne Johnson is one of the highest-paid actors in Hollywood, and his involvement could significantly increase the cost of the voice talent. Cravalho, who has gained popularity since the original film, may also command a higher salary. Along with potential new cast members, the talent budget could easily range between $10 million to $20 million. Music production costs. The first film's music, composed by Lin-Manuel Miranda, Opataya Fawai, and Mark Mancina, played a key role in its success. Miranda, in particular, is a major name in both Broadway and Hollywood, and his return, along with the other composers, will come with significant costs. Between the recording of new songs, orchestration, and music rights, the music department could command a budget of around $5 million to $10 million. Marketing and distribution. Disney is known for its aggressive marketing campaigns, especially for its major animated films. The marketing for Moana 2 will likely involve global advertising efforts, partnerships, merchandise, and cross-promotions with other Disney properties and theme parks. Given that Moana is already a beloved franchise, the marketing budget will likely be large, with estimates between $100 million to $150 million. This will help promote the film across various platforms, ensuring a massive global audience. Total budget prediction. Taking into account the production, talent, music, and marketing costs, Moana 2 will likely have a total budget in the range of $250 million to $300 million. This would place it among Disney's top-tier animated projects in terms of financial investment. Box office collection predictions. The box office success of Moana 2 will depend on several factors, including the timing of its release, audience interest, competition from other films, and critical reception. However, given the global popularity of the original Moana, the sequel is expected to perform strongly in both domestic and international markets. Domestic box office prediction: US and Canada, the original Moana grossed approximately $248.7 million at the domestic box office. Given the increased fan base and the sustained popularity of the Moana brand through merchandise, theme parks, and Disney+, Moana 2 is likely to surpass this figure. A domestic gross of around $300 million to $350 million is a reasonable expectation for the sequel. International box office prediction. Moana performed exceptionally well in international markets, grossing around $442 million. Since the appeal of animated films and Disney properties is universal, Moana 2 could see an even larger international audience, especially in markets like China, Japan, Europe, and Latin America. International box office revenue could range between $500 million to $600 million, driven by strong marketing and the global popularity of the characters and music. Global box office prediction. Combining the domestic and international earnings, Moana 2 could realistically achieve a total global box office gross of around $800 million to $1 billion. This would place it in line with other successful Disney sequels like Frozen 2, which grossed over $1.4 billion globally. The film's strong built-in fan base, appeal to families, and Disney's marketing machine make this box office range achievable. Factors influencing box office success. Disney Plus release strategy. Disney may adopt a simultaneous theatrical and streaming release on Disney Plus, which could impact box office numbers. However, the theater-first strategy, with a delayed Disney Plus release, would likely maximize box office earnings, as families may prefer the theatrical experience for an event film like Moana 2. Holiday release window. If Moana 2 is released during the holiday season, similar to many successful Disney animated films, it could benefit from increased family moviegoing during that period. A holiday release would likely drive up both domestic and international box office numbers. Merchandising and tie-ins. Disney will undoubtedly capitalize on Moana 2 with a wide range of merchandise, from toys to clothing and theme park experiences. This additional revenue stream will not only boost overall earnings, but also keep the film in the public eye, further driving ticket sales. Competition from other films. The success of Moana 2 will also depend on the competition it faces during its release. If the film is released alongside other major blockbusters, it could affect its box office performance. However, Disney is typically strategic about release dates and will likely position Moana 2 in a favorable window. Conclusion. With a substantial budget ranging from $250 million to $300 million, Moana 2 is positioned to be a major release for Disney. The film's box office potential is strong, with predictions suggesting it could earn between $800 million to $1 billion globally. Factors such as the popularity of the Moana franchise, Disney's marketing power, and the widespread appeal of animated films will all contribute to the sequel's financial success. Given the enormous expectations surrounding the movie, Moana 2 is set to be one of the biggest animated films of 2024. Facts and trivia about Moana 2, 2024. As an eagerly awaited sequel to the beloved Moana, 2016, Moana 2 has garnered significant attention, not just for its storyline but also for the details behind its production, cast, and cultural impact. Here are some interesting facts and trivia related to Moana 2 that make it one of the most anticipated animated films of 2024. Development and sequel announcements. Sequel speculation and fan demand. Since the success of the original Moana, there has been ongoing fan speculation and demand for a sequel. Disney has carefully built anticipation, and when Moana 2 was officially announced, it met with a wave of excitement from fans around the world. The characters, music, and cultural richness of Moana had left such a strong impression that the sequel has been eagerly awaited for nearly a decade. Long gap between installments. Moana 2 will release 8 years after the original film. While Disney has taken longer breaks between certain sequels, such as Incredibles 2 and Finding Dory, the long gap has allowed for technological advancements in animation, which will likely lead to even more breathtaking visuals in the sequel. Fans are also excited to see how Moana has matured in the storyline, offering new depths to her character. Return of key creators. Lin-Manuel Miranda, one of the key composers for Moana, is returning for the sequel. Miranda's work on the original film's music, including hits like How Far I'll Go, was a major factor in its success. His return suggests that Moana 2 will maintain the same vibrant, emotionally resonant musical energy. Cultural representation. Polynesian culture's continued influence. Just like its predecessor, Moana 2 will continue to draw inspiration from Polynesian mythology and culture. The first film was praised for its respectful representation of Polynesian stories, oceanic traditions, and the exploration of the Pacific Islands. Disney worked closely with cultural experts, ensuring authenticity, and it's expected that the studio will continue this collaboration for the sequel. Moana's cultural impact. The character of Moana has become an icon for strong, independent female characters in Disney's lineup. Her portrayal as a brave and compassionate leader, with a deep connection to her culture and heritage, has resonated with audiences worldwide. Moana 2 is expected to build on this cultural legacy, continuing to inspire young viewers, particularly girls, to embrace leadership, resilience, and adventure. The return of Auliʻi Cravalho. Auliʻi Cravalho's evolved performance. Auliʻi Cravalho was just 14 years old when she was cast as Moana in 2016. Her breakout performance was celebrated for its authenticity and emotional depth. Now, as a more seasoned performer, Cravalho returns with greater experience, both in voice acting and music, which will likely bring new layers to Moana's character. Her growth as a performer is expected to mirror Moana's development as a leader and explorer in the sequel. Moana's voice of empowerment. Cravalho's involvement in various projects beyond Moana has reinforced her status as a young talent with a strong sense of advocacy. She has been vocal about empowering Indigenous voices and representation in media, making her return in Moana 2 even more meaningful given her close identification with Moana's cultural roots. New characters and potential additions. New mythological figures. While the first film introduced the demigod Maui, Moana 2 is expected to introduce even more Polynesian mythological figures. These characters will likely play a central role in the plot, providing new challenges or guidance for Moana. These additions are expected to broaden the scope of the mythology explored in the film, making Moana 2 a richer narrative experience. Potential for celebrity cameos. Disney is known for incorporating high-profile celebrity voice cameos in its animated films. While there's no official confirmation yet, there is speculation that new characters in Moana 2 could be voiced by prominent actors or musicians who have ties to Polynesian culture or who are well regarded within the Disney family. Music and soundtrack. Lin-Manuel Miranda's new songs. The original Moana soundtrack was a major hit, with songs like How Far I'll Go and You're Welcome achieving iconic status. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who played a key role in crafting the first film's music, is returning for Moana 2. Fans can expect new, emotionally charged songs that mix traditional Polynesian sounds with Miranda's signature lyrical complexity and energy. Returning and new musical talent. In addition to Lin-Manuel Miranda, it is anticipated that Opetaia Foai and Mark Mancina, who also contributed to the original soundtrack, will return to collaborate on Moana 2. Together, they created a seamless blend of traditional Polynesian music and modern influences. New collaborations with contemporary artists might also be featured, bringing fresh perspectives to the soundtrack while staying rooted in the original film's cultural authenticity. Environmental themes. Focus on nature and the ocean. The original Moana explored themes of environmental responsibility, the relationship between humans and nature, and the role of the ocean in Polynesian life. These themes are expected to continue in Moana 2, especially as global conversations about climate change and ocean conservation have grown since the first film's release. The sequel may dive deeper into the importance of protecting the environment, using Moana's connection to the ocean as a central metaphor. Symbolism of the ocean. In Moana, the ocean is a living, breathing character that guides and protects the protagonist. This symbolism is likely to be expanded upon in the sequel, possibly introducing new spiritual or mythical elements related to the ocean and its powers. The ocean could serve as both an ally and a formidable force that Moana must understand on a deeper level, reflecting her own internal growth. Technological advancements in animation. Advances in water animation. One of the standout features of Moana was its groundbreaking water animation. The technology behind this has only improved since 2016, and Moana 2 will likely feature even more realistic and dynamic water effects, which will be central to the story given Moana's ongoing relationship with the ocean. This advancement will ensure that the film remains visually breathtaking. Higher resolution and 3D effects. With the advent of new animation techniques and software, Moana 2 is expected to have even sharper visuals, richer textures, and more immersive 3D effects. The environments, character designs, and lighting will likely be more detailed and visually stunning than ever, making the sequel a major visual experience for audiences. Box office and critical anticipation. Predicted box office success. The original Moana grossed over $690 million worldwide, and given its sustained popularity through Disney+, merchandise, and cultural impact, Moana 2 is expected to surpass that figure. Analysts predict that Moana 2 could easily break the $1 billion mark globally, particularly if it follows in the footsteps of other successful Disney sequels like Frozen 2. Critical expectations. Critics and fans alike have high expectations for Moana 2, given the critical acclaim of the first film. Moana was praised for its storytelling, character development, animation, and cultural representation. If the sequel can capture the same magic while expanding on the original's themes and characters, it is likely to receive similar acclaim. Merchandising and cultural legacy. Merchandise tie-ins. Like many Disney films, Moana 2 will have a large line of merchandise, from toys and clothing to books and school supplies. Disney's marketing machine will likely include cross-promotions with Disney theme parks, including attractions inspired by Moana, particularly in locations with large Polynesian communities. The expansion of the Moana brand will ensure its lasting legacy in popular culture. Moana's continued cultural relevance. Moana has become a symbol of strength, leadership, and cultural pride, particularly for Indigenous and Pacific Islander communities. The character's impact on young girls and the broader push for diversity and representation in media has cemented Moana as a culturally important Disney character. Moana 2 will undoubtedly continue this legacy, offering a new generation of viewers an inspiring role model who embraces her heritage while navigating a changing world. Conclusion: Moana 2 is shaping up to be not just a continuation of Moana's journey, but an expansion of the themes, technology, and cultural representation that made the original film such a beloved success. With returning talent like Auliʻi Cravalho, Dwayne Johnson, and Lin-Manuel Miranda, coupled with new characters and advancements in animation, the sequel is poised to be one of Disney's most anticipated and impactful films of 2024. The combination of Polynesian mythology, environmental themes, and stunning visuals will make Moana 2 a must-watch for audiences of all ages. Visual effects and cinematic techniques in Moana 2, 2024. Moana 2 is expected to be a visual spectacle that pushes the boundaries of what is possible in animated filmmaking, building on the innovative techniques seen in the original Moana, 2016. Disney is known for advancing technology with each new animated project, and this sequel is likely to incorporate cutting-edge tools and methods to enhance the storytelling and immerse audiences in its vibrant world. Below is a detailed look at the anticipated visual effects and cinematic techniques that will shape Moana 2. Advanced water animation. Pioneering water simulation. Water was a central visual element in the original Moana, and Disney's animation team developed revolutionary water simulation techniques to bring the ocean to life. In Moana 2, these techniques will likely be enhanced even further, allowing for even more dynamic and realistic water interactions. Expect to see detailed waves, ripples, and underwater scenes with unparalleled clarity and fluidity. This will help maintain the ocean's role as a living, breathing character in the story, further emphasizing its spiritual connection to Moana. Ocean as a character. The ocean was depicted as a sentient entity in Moana, communicating and interacting with Moana throughout her journey. Moana 2 will likely build on this concept, with the ocean's movements and expressions becoming more nuanced and complex, aided by advancements in particle simulation and fluid dynamics. These subtle enhancements will allow the ocean to express emotions and actions in even more visually compelling ways. Natural environments and ecosystems. Lush island landscapes. The first Moana featured stunning depictions of tropical islands, complete with verdant forests, towering mountains, and intricate coastlines. In Moana 2, we can expect the island environments to be even more detailed and expansive. From the textures of the sand to the sway of palm trees in the wind, Disney's animation team will likely use advanced rendering techniques to create a living, breathing world that feels immersive and richly textured. Dynamic lighting and atmosphere. One of the most important cinematic techniques in animation is the use of light and shadow to create mood and atmosphere. Moana 2 is expected to showcase more sophisticated lighting effects, from the soft glow of a sunset on the ocean's horizon to the dappled light filtering through jungle canopies. These lighting techniques will enhance the realism and emotional resonance of the film, contributing to both its aesthetic appeal and storytelling depth. Volcanic and geothermal features. Given the Polynesian setting, Moana may introduce new volcanic or geothermal environments. This would offer a dramatic contrast to the lush greenery of the islands and the calm expanses of the ocean. Advanced techniques in heat distortion, ash simulation, and lava flow rendering could provide visually stunning sequences that underscore the natural power of the Pacific Islands. Character animation, realistic motion and expressions. The character animation in Moana was lauded for its attention to detail, particularly in capturing the fluidity of movement in both human and mythical characters. In Moana 2, expect these techniques to be taken to new heights. Advances in motion capture and facial animation technology will allow for more nuanced, subtle expressions, bringing deeper emotional complexity to characters like Moana, Maui, and any new characters introduced. This will make interactions feel more personal and emotionally resonant, enhancing the audience's connection to the characters. Clothing and hair simulation. A major technical achievement in Moana was the simulation of Moana's flowing hair, which moved realistically in water and wind. Moana 2 will likely further develop this technology, with even more detailed simulations of hair, clothing, and environmental interactions. For example, Moana's traditional garments may shift dynamically as she moves through different settings, from the wind on an island beach to underwater sequences, mythical creatures and magic. Introduction of new mythical entities. The first Moana introduced several mythical creatures, including Maui's animated tattoos and the lava monster Te Ka. In Moana 2, the introduction of new mythological creatures from Polynesian lore is highly anticipated. These creatures will likely be brought to life using a combination of keyframe animation and procedural generation, allowing them to move in fluid, unexpected ways that enhance their otherworldly presence. Magical effects and symbolism. The visual representation of magic will be a key component in Moana 2. Whether through the ocean's powers, the transformation abilities of characters like Maui, or the manifestation of new magical forces, the film will likely use a combination of particle effects, glowing auras, and energy waves to depict supernatural elements. These effects, rendered with high precision, will help convey the mystical underpinnings of the story while adding to the visual spectacle. Cinematography in animation. Cinematic framing and composition. In animated films, the framing and composition of each shot are crucial in conveying emotion, guiding the audience's eye, and enhancing the story. Moana 2 is expected to employ sophisticated cinematic techniques, including dramatic wide shots that showcase the vastness of the ocean and intimate close-ups that highlight the characters' emotional journeys. The balance between expansive, breathtaking vistas and character-focused scenes will give the film a cinematic quality that rivals live-action films. Camera movements and virtual lensing. In the original Moana, there were sequences that mimicked live-action camera movements, such as tracking shots, panning, and zooms. Moana 2 will likely further explore the use of virtual cameras to create dynamic, immersive sequences that enhance the film's sense of adventure. Whether it's following Moana as she navigates a stormy ocean or exploring a mythical creature's lair, the use of virtual lensing will add realism and fluidity to the action. 3D and immersive visuals. 3D animation and depth perception. Disney typically releases its animated films in 3D, and Moana 2 will likely be no exception. Expect the 3D effects to enhance depth perception, particularly in scenes involving the vast ocean or dramatic island landscapes. The combination of rich, detailed environments and careful use of 3D space will help immerse audiences in the world of Moana, making every wave, mountain, and creature feel more tangible and close. Immersive ocean sequences. The ocean sequences in Moana were celebrated for their fluidity and beauty, and Moana 2 will likely take these scenes further by creating immersive underwater environments. As Moana continues her journey, we may see her interact with vibrant coral reefs, schools of fish, and deep underwater caverns, all of which will be enhanced by the immersive qualities of 3D animation. Advanced water rendering will ensure that the audience feels as though they are traveling alongside Moana beneath the waves. Post-production visual enhancements. Rendering and final compositing. After the animation is completed, the visual effects team will go through extensive rendering and compositing processes to finalize the film's look. With the advancement of rendering technology, Moana 2 will likely feature even more detailed lighting, textures, and shading than its predecessor. These techniques will help create the film's cohesive visual style, ensuring that every frame is richly detailed and visually stunning. Color grading for mood and atmosphere. Color grading is an essential part of the post-production process, used to set the tone and mood for each scene. Expect Moana 2 to use vibrant, warm colors during moments of joy and exploration, while cooler, darker tones may be applied during moments of danger or tension. The film's color palette will be carefully curated to reflect the emotional beats of the story, enhancing its visual storytelling. Symbolic use of visual effects. Ocean as metaphor. In Moana, The ocean was not only a physical space but also a metaphor for discovery, challenge, and personal growth. In Moana 2, this metaphor will likely continue, with visual effects used to reflect Moana's inner journey. Storms, calm seas, and shifting tides may visually represent the struggles and triumphs Moana faces, making the ocean a symbolic force that parallels her emotional arc. Magical transformation sequences. Maui's shape-shifting abilities were a visual highlight of Moana, and Moana 2 will likely include even more intricate transformation sequences involving characters or environments. The seamless blending of characters with magical elements, rendered through cutting-edge animation, will make these sequences both visually stunning and narratively powerful. Conclusion. The visual effects and cinematic techniques in Moana 2 are expected to be groundbreaking, building on the technical achievements of the first film while pushing the boundaries of what is possible in animation. From realistic water simulations and dynamic island environments to immersive 3D visuals and intricate character animations, the sequel will offer a visually rich, emotionally compelling experience. By incorporating advanced technologies and innovative storytelling techniques, Moana 2 will set a new standard for animated films, ensuring that it captures both the imagination and hearts of audiences worldwide. Storyline of Moana 2, 2024. Moana 2 picks up the journey of the young Polynesian wayfinder, Moana, following the events of the first film, where she successfully restored the heart of Te Fiti and brought peace to her people. In the sequel, Moana is no longer just a brave, adventurous girl. She is now recognized as a leader, guiding her people toward a prosperous future. However, her next journey takes her on an even deeper, more challenging path, one that will test her courage, wisdom, and connection to the world around her. A new call to adventure. After years of peace and growth on her home island of Motunui, a new threat emerges. Strange and mysterious occurrences begin to take place in the surrounding islands. Volcanic eruptions, sudden storms, and vanishing islands. The balance of nature, which Moana once helped restore, seems to be shifting once again. But this time, it's not just a matter of returning a lost artifact. It's something much deeper, something older, that Moana must confront. Moana receives a call from the spirits of her ancestors, urging her to journey far beyond the borders of her known world to seek out the ancient island of Adia. This fabled island is believed to hold the secret to controlling time itself, and legends say it is connected to the gods and the forces that shape the natural world. Only by reaching Adia and unlocking its mysteries can Moana restore balance to the oceans and prevent a catastrophe that threatens not just her island, but all of Polynesia. Moana's emotional journey. Moana's new journey will be both external and internal. As she sails further than ever before, she must face her growing responsibilities as a leader. The weight of her people's expectations begins to weigh on her, causing her to question her own capabilities. Doubts arise about whether she can once again rise to the challenge, and she must navigate not only the dangers of the journey but also the complexities of leadership, sacrifice, and self-doubt. Throughout her adventure, Moana also struggles with a more personal dilemma, whether to continue her quest of exploration or return to the safety of her home. As she encounters new lands and cultures, she begins to feel torn between the call of her voyaging ancestors and her growing desire to stay and build a peaceful life with her people. New characters and challenges. In Moana 2, Moana is joined by a diverse cast of new and returning characters. Maui, Dwayne Johnson Maui, the demigod of the wind and sea, returns to assist Moana, though he's more reluctant this time. While still powerful, Maui is dealing with the consequences of his past actions and his own struggle for identity. Their relationship, once purely adventurous, now evolves as both of them mature. Maui must confront his own insecurities, especially in the face of an even greater celestial force that dwarfs his power. New allies. Along the way, Moana encounters new allies from distant islands, including a fiercely independent warrior princess, Temuera, and a wise, elderly shaman who holds the key to the mysteries of Adia. Antagonistic forces. The primary antagonist of the film could be a new mythical entity or force tied to the island of Adia, perhaps a guardian spirit or deity angered by the disturbances in the natural world. This force is not merely a villain but represents the chaotic, unpredictable side of nature itself, challenging Moana's belief that everything can be healed or restored. Themes of growth, leadership, and legacy. Moana 2 explores complex themes of leadership, personal growth, and the balance between exploration and responsibility. Moana must reconcile her identity as a voyager with her duties as a leader. The film emphasizes that leadership is not just about strength and courage, but also wisdom, humility, and the willingness to learn from others. The overarching theme of legacy is also prevalent. Moana is following in the footsteps of her ancestors, but she must forge her own path, combining the traditions of the past with her vision for the future. This theme is reflected in her relationship with the ocean, which continues to play a guiding role in her journey, but now represents both the mysteries of the past and the possibilities of the future. Climactic finale. The film's climax is expected to take place on the mythical island of Adia, where Moana faces not only the powerful forces of nature, but also her deepest fears and doubts. Here, Moana must confront the island's mysterious deity or guardian to restore the balance between the islands and the ocean. In doing so, she discovers that the power to control nature is not about domination but harmony, an understanding that everything in the natural world is connected and must coexist in balance. The finale will likely involve a breathtaking sequence of elemental forces, storms, volcanic eruptions, and the ocean itself, culminating in a resolution that showcases Moana's growth as a leader who can unite both her people and the natural world. Review of Moana 2, 2024. While Moana 2 has yet to be released, based on early discussions and speculation, the film is shaping up to be a worthy sequel to the original, blending stunning animation, compelling characters, and meaningful themes. Here's a breakdown of what we can expect from the movie, using insights from the first film and Disney's approach to animated sequels. Strengths. Visual spectacle. Much like its predecessor, Moana 2 will likely be a visual marvel. With cutting-edge animation techniques, especially in the areas of water simulation and natural environments, the film will immerse audiences in a breathtaking world. The ocean, in particular, is expected to play a pivotal role in the story, and its depiction is likely to set new standards for animated filmmaking. Compelling story. The storyline of Moana's growth from an adventurous young woman to a wise leader adds emotional depth. The sequel's exploration of her internal conflicts, balancing leadership with her personal desires, will likely resonate with both young and mature audiences. The introduction of new mythical elements and a new adventure into the unknown will provide a fresh narrative while staying true to the heart of the original. Themes of identity and responsibility. Moana 2 is expected to delve deeper into themes of leadership, responsibility, and the balance between duty and personal freedom. This emotional depth is likely to give the film an even stronger thematic core than the original, making it both thought-provoking and inspirational. Maui's return and character development. Maui's return adds an element of continuity and fun to the story. His character arc in the first film was significant, and his evolution in Moana 2 will likely bring a balance of humor and introspection, particularly as he faces his own internal struggles. Strong supporting cast, new characters, including the warrior princess Temuera and the wise shaman, will likely add new dynamics and fresh perspectives to the story. Their unique abilities and personalities will enrich the narrative and provide Moana with both guidance and challenge. Potential criticism. High expectations. Given the success of the first Moana, Moana 2 will have high expectations to meet. While it's exciting to see Moana return, some fans may worry that the sequel could repeat familiar tropes or fall into the common traps of animated sequels, such as overly relying on nostalgia or lacking originality in its storyline. Balancing new and old. Striking the right balance between introducing new characters and honoring the original cast could be challenging. The film will need to ensure that new additions to the story, like Temuera and the island of Auliʻi, feel integral to Moana's journey and not just included for novelty. Final thoughts. Overall, Moana 2 has all the ingredients for a successful sequel. A strong returning cast, a rich cultural foundation, and the potential for stunning visual effects. The film's deeper exploration of leadership, personal growth, and the mystical connection between humanity and nature will likely elevate it beyond a mere adventure and into a profound tale of self-discovery and legacy. If executed well, Moana 2 could not only match the success of its predecessor but potentially surpass it in terms of storytelling, emotional resonance, and visual mastery. Moana 2, 2024, is the highly anticipated sequel to the 2016 animated Disney hit, Moana. It is an American animated musical fantasy adventure film that builds upon the original's success, continuing the journey of Moana as she explores new adventures and encounters fresh challenges. The film promises to retain its rich Polynesian cultural essence, blending it with the iconic elements of adventure, music, and personal discovery that made the first film beloved by audiences worldwide. Storyline and themes. The story of Moana 2 is set to follow Moana as she embarks on new explorations beyond the horizon. While specific plot details are kept under wraps, fans can expect a continuation of her leadership as the chosen wayfinder of her people. The film is expected to tackle deeper themes of environmental preservation, personal growth, and the exploration of one's identity. The first movie's mythical elements will likely carry over, with Moana encountering new gods, creatures, and challenges in the Polynesian mythological realm. Auliʻi Cravalho and cast performances. Auliʻi Cravalho, who voiced Moana in the first film, is expected to reprise her role, bringing back her powerful performance and authentic portrayal of the strong, adventurous heroine. Other major characters from the original may also return, including Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Maui, the demigod who played a central role in Moana's first journey. The chemistry between Cravalho's Moana and Johnson's Maui contributed to the charm of the original film, and fans are excited to see how their relationship evolves. New characters will likely be introduced, each with distinct personalities and challenges that shape Moana's journey. Technical aspects. Disney is known for pushing the boundaries of animation, and Moana 2 will be no exception. The film's animation is expected to feature advancements in CGI, water rendering, and character design, continuing the tradition of breathtaking visuals seen in the first film. The landscapes will likely be inspired by Polynesian islands and mythological elements, blending fantasy and realism in seamless detail. The technical team is committed to capturing the vibrancy of the ocean, the lush greenery of the islands, and the ethereal qualities of Polynesian mythology. Music department. Music was a core part of Moana's success, and Moana 2 will once again feature an enchanting soundtrack. Lin-Manuel Miranda, who contributed to the first movie's songs, is likely to return, crafting both catchy and emotionally charged music for the sequel. The musical score will continue to reflect Polynesian cultural influences, with an emphasis on traditional instruments and vocal arrangements. Audiences can expect new songs that will likely be just as iconic as "How Far I'll Go," offering emotional depth and memorable tunes to complement the story. Pre-production, filming, and post-production. The pre-production phase of Moana 2 involved extensive planning to ensure that the story continued to honor Polynesian culture while providing fresh narratives. Disney is known for its meticulous approach to research, and the creative team likely collaborated with cultural advisors to ensure authenticity. The film went through various stages of script development, and character design was refined to enhance the visual appeal. Once pre-production was completed, Moana 2 entered its animation phase, where animators worked on creating the stunning visuals that Disney films are known for. Filming, in terms of voice recording and motion capture, if any, began with Auliʻi Cravalho and other cast members providing the voices for their characters. The post-production process, focusing on editing, sound design, and visual effects, ensures that every scene and musical number flows smoothly, providing a seamless experience for the audience. Budget. While Disney has not officially disclosed the budget for Moana 2, it is speculated to be a significant investment, likely surpassing the original film's $150 million budget due to advanced animation techniques and a more extensive production. The film is expected to be a major release for Disney, and they've spared no expense in bringing it to life. This includes high-quality animation, a powerful soundtrack, and an experienced voice cast. Box office collection predictions. Given the enormous success of the first film, Moana 2 is poised to be a box office juggernaut. The original film grossed over $690 million worldwide, and with the established fanbase, the sequel is expected to surpass these numbers. Early projections suggest that the movie could easily cross the $800 million mark, depending on global reception, marketing, and distribution strategies. The film's success may also be boosted by merchandise sales, further contributing to Disney's revenue, platform availability, and OTT release. Moana 2 is expected to have a major theatrical release worldwide before it becomes available on digital platforms. Given Disney's partnership with its own streaming service, Disney+, the film will likely land on the platform for streaming shortly after its theatrical run. Fans can anticipate watching the movie in high definition or even 4K on Disney+ after its initial release window. Additionally, it may be available for digital purchase on platforms like Amazon Prime Video and Google Play Movies before its streaming debut. In terms of satellite channels, Disney's family of networks, such as ABC or Disney Channel, could eventually air the movie after its initial home media and streaming release. Review and small story insight. The sequel to Moana has been the subject of high anticipation, with fans hoping for a movie that matches the emotional resonance and excitement of the original. Early reviews, based on insider feedback, suggest that the story is engaging, with a strong focus on character development. Moana's journey of self-discovery will take center stage, with her facing new trials that test her leadership and connection to her roots. The film promises a balance of heartwarming moments, humor, and adventurous sequences that appeal to both children and adults. Conclusion. Moana 2 is shaping up to be a thrilling continuation of a beloved Disney classic. With its powerful story, stunning animation, memorable characters, and rich cultural influence, it has all the ingredients to be a massive hit. Fans of the first film will be eager to embark on another journey across the seas with Moana, as she continues to inspire audiences with her courage, determination, and sense of adventure. Technical aspects of Moana 2, 2024. The technical aspects of Moana 2 are essential in delivering the movie's immersive experience, leveraging cutting-edge animation, visual effects, sound design, and other key elements. Here's a detailed look at how each component contributes to the film. Advanced animation techniques. Disney has consistently been at the forefront of animation technology, and Moana 2 will showcase even more advanced animation than its predecessor. The sequel is expected to feature further improvements in water simulation and character animation. The first Moana was praised for its incredibly realistic ocean, which became almost a character in itself. For Moana 2, animators will likely refine these techniques to achieve even more breathtaking and dynamic water effects. The natural environment, from the ocean to lush tropical islands, will be crafted with intricate details, including highly realistic vegetation, volcanic landscapes, and weather effects. Enhanced character design. The characters in Moana 2 will be designed with even more attention to detail. The animation team will likely work to push facial expressions, body language, and movement fidelity to new levels. The improvements in rigging and texturing technologies will allow for more nuanced character interactions and emotions, bringing even more life to Moana, Maui, and the new characters introduced in the sequel. Additionally, cultural authenticity is vital, so Polynesian clothing, tattoos, and ceremonial symbols will be depicted with precision. Water rendering. The first Moana was lauded for its advanced water rendering technology, which allowed animators to create highly dynamic and believable ocean scenes. In Moana 2, water will again play a critical role as both a visual and narrative element. The technical team will likely use new innovations in physics-based water simulations to render complex water interactions. From crashing waves to calm lagoons and stormy seas, the water will respond to characters' movements and environmental conditions with heightened realism. The reflective surfaces and interaction with light, especially during different times of day, will make the ocean feel like a living entity. Lighting and color grading. The sequel will continue to use sophisticated lighting techniques that enhance the vibrant, tropical setting of the film. Disney's animation team will use global illumination technology to create natural light transitions, ensuring that every scene has a rich and dynamic look. Expect stunning sunrises, sunsets, and nighttime scenes that cast dramatic shadows across the landscape. Color grading will also be critical, with rich, tropical hues dominating the island settings and deep, mysterious blues for ocean scenes. These elements will help maintain a balance between the grounded and fantastical aspects of the film's visual language, visual effects, and mythological elements. The visual effects team will play an essential role in bringing Moana 2's mythological elements to life. Magical creatures, gods, and other fantastical elements will require complex effects work. Expect larger-than-life visual sequences where nature itself, from the winds to volcanoes, is animated to serve the narrative. The seamless blending of these mythological aspects with the real world will create a fantastical environment that feels both immersive and magical. Whether Moana is interacting with ancient deities or facing off against natural disasters, visual effects will heighten the emotional impact and grandeur of the story. Improved character animation via motion capture. While traditional keyframe animation will be the backbone of character movement, advancements in motion capture technology may also be used to give certain characters more fluid and realistic motion, particularly in action sequences. Motion capture can be utilized to capture complex fight choreography or dance sequences, allowing for a seamless blend of dynamic action with smooth, lifelike character movements. This will be particularly useful in scenes involving Maui or other physically active characters. Sound design and audio effects. Sound design in Moana 2 will be equally important in immersing viewers in its world. The sound of ocean waves, island wildlife, and mythical creatures will all be intricately woven into the film's audio landscape. 3D spatial sound techniques could be employed to give the audience a sense of depth, whether it's the roar of the ocean in an intense storm or the delicate rustle of palm leaves in a quiet moment. The sound design team will also likely collaborate closely with the music department to ensure that the film's score blends naturally with ambient sound effects, creating a cohesive auditory experience. Music integration with animation. Music will once again play a central role in Moana 2, not just in terms of the soundtrack but also how it integrates with the animation. Musical numbers will likely be accompanied by stunning visual sequences, using techniques like synchronized animation, lighting shifts, and visual metaphors to bring the songs to life. For example, if a character is singing about the ocean, the water may behave in sync with the music, creating a dynamic relationship between sound and visuals. Cultural representation and research in visuals. Authenticity is a significant part of Moana 2's technical achievement. Just as in the first film, extensive research into Polynesian culture, myths, and traditions has been carried out to ensure the film accurately reflects the heritage it is inspired by. From the design of Moana's clothes to the carvings on the boats and the tattoos on Maui's body, every detail will be a result of collaboration with cultural experts and historians. This level of technical attention to detail in representing Polynesian art, architecture, and mythology is an essential aspect of the film's visual development.